Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we will learn how to add styles to buttons. We can use the general CSS properties like font size, color, background color, etc. to add styles to these buttons. Let's try some examples to understand it better. Let's bring up our code editor. Let's give ID to our first button, say btn login. Let's copy this ID. Let's save it. Coming to our index.css file. Let's select this button, so hash and then ID. Let's give a background color to this. So background color, say light blue. Let's save it. And as you can see, now our button has a background color. Let's try adding some padding, say 8 pixels and 16 pixels. Let's save it. Also, our button has a border, so let's remove that. So border none. Let's save it. Let's make these corners a bit curved, so border radius and let's say 8 pixels. And as you can see, our button has a curved corners now. So even if you don't give border, using the border radius property just makes the corners rounded. Also coming here, so when you click on this button, this outline comes. So let's try removing that. So we have another property for this purpose, outline. So for that, let's just say none. So now when I click on this button, that outline doesn't comes. Also, when I hover, I want my mouse pointer to change to clickable. So for that, we have another property, cursor, and it accepts a value pointer. Let's save it. And now when I hover on this button, it shows me that this HTML element is clickable. Now let's try adding some hover effects. So let's select our button. So btn login. Again, to add hover effects, we can just do colon and hover. Now let's say when someone hovers on this button, we change the color to dark blue, the background color to dark blue, and the font color to white. So let's try that. So background color, say dark blue, and font color to white. Let's save it. So coming back here. Now when I hover on this button, the background color goes to dark blue and the font color changes to white. All right, let's try adding some styles to the next button as well. Let's say btn sign up. Let's save it. Let's select our button here. Let's say we want this button to have a light blue border and a white background color. So let's try that. So background color white, and let's give it a border, say 2 pixels, solid and light blue. Let's save it. And as you can see, my button has a light blue border. Let's give it the same padding as we gave the button earlier. So 8 pixels and 16 pixels. Let's save it. Also, let's make these corners curved or rounded. So border radius, say 8 pixels. Let's save it. All right, so again, when I click here, we see this blue outline. So let's change that. So outline, say none. And now when I click here, that outline doesn't come. But when I hover on the button, I need my mouse pointer to change to clickable. So let's do that as well. So cursor and pointer. Let's save it. And now when I hover, my cursor changes to clickable. Similarly, let's say when someone hovers, we fill the color to light blue. Let's try that. So hash btn sign up. So we select our element and we add this hover property. So let's just say we want the background color to change. So background color, light blue. Let's save it. And now when I hover, my button fills with light blue background color. Let's create another button. Let's say disabled. Let's give it an ID. Say button disabled. Let's save it. So now what we want is we are trying to create a button which is not clickable, and it should tell the user that this is not clickable. So hash or ID, let's give it a background color, say light blue. Let's give it some padding, say 8 pixels and 16 pixels. Let's save it. Let's remove the borders. So border none. Let's give it rounded corners. So border radius, which is say 8 pixels. Now it looks just like the login button. So now when I click on it, it still gives me this blue outline. So let's remove that as well. So outline none. Let's save it. And when I click on this button, nothing happens. So let's say to show that this button is disabled, when someone hovers, it shows that this is not clickable. So let's do that. So cursor, it accepts another value, not allowed. Let's save it. And now when I hover, it shows me this not allowed cursor pointer. Also, let's try giving some transparency to this button so it looks a bit faded. So for that, CSS has another property called opacity. So this opacity accepts a value between 0 and 1. So you can give it in decimals also. Let's say 0.6. Let's save it. And now as you can see, our button looks a bit faded. And when someone hovers on it, it shows this not clickable cursor pointer. That's all for today, guys. If there's something that you did not understand, feel free to drop a comment and we will discuss it. See you in the next video. Bye and take care.